when I was young, as I said, I was really into Liverpool and I was really into Oasis. They're my favourite band, absolutely obsessed by them around sort of like 17 or whatever, when they sort of first came out, if you will. And I had this week where because Noel Gallagher had been on the show quite a lot of time. I never met Liam at the time.
Yeah.
And he'd been on the show quite a lot. And on the Sunday, it was the time they released the album, I can't remember what it's called, it's got The Importance of Being Idle and Layla and another, I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, people will know.
Yeah.
And they were playing at the Clapham Grand, which is like quite a small venue, a really small venue for them. And it was and I went along. I managed to get tickets through someone I knew because of the music, and I was so excited to be there. And I took my mate Jim along, who used to write like an Oasis website in the really early days and stuff like that. And it was great. But I was stood quite towards the back, and there was a woman in front of me. They were playing "Live Forever," one of my favourite songs.
Yeah, I
There was
love
a woman
that
in front of
tune.
me, and she was texting. And this is going to sound sexist, but she actually was just texting her friend about shopping, and like not about like just generally like about joining like I bought this new.
She just
top
put
like
"fuck
that. And I was like,
Sainsbury's."
I might not go to a supermarket for 6 months. and I thought that's the I'm going to get in there. So we got down quite near the front, and it wasn't that big a place. I was like about 5 rows back, and they got to the end, and they started playing Wonderwall, and at the start of it, Liam saw me at the front. I never met him, but I knew he watched Soccer AM. And he pointed at me and went, "All right, lad, how you doing?" To me like that, into the microphone like that. And I just went, "Like, Jim, I think Liam Gallagher just mentioned me." He goes, "He could be talking to anyone." Or that. And I looked, I saw Noel and looked to see who he was talking at, see me and started laughing like that. And I was going, "No, I think he was talking to me." Like, he goes, "No, definitely wasn't.
Definitely, maybe.
And then, yeah, good.
Wow.
Good, yeah, knows his band. And then so at the end of the song, Liam went off before Noel did "Don't Look Back in Anger," and Noel just let the microphone went, well, Robbie Knox. And I'm like, Jim going, "Oh, maybe it's a different Robbie Knox. maybe there's a few of us here." So that was the Sunday night, and then Wednesday I went to Istanbul to watch Liverpool win the Champions League after being 3-0 down to AC Milan.
Big game.
And so that was my week, and I was going, yeah, this is all right.
Yeah, you're doing okay.
Decent week,
That's
yeah.
great.
Wow.
You
and-
peaked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, because you've got a pretty good potato patch now, haven't you?
Yeah.
Life hasn't changed too much.
Yin and yang.
Now I just vlog about potatoes. I don't know the word for it. Right, I do videos about potatoes and stuff. And
Have you bumped into the Gallaghers before?
what,
No,
as in-
sorry, since. Have you bumped into the
Since-
Gallaghers after that?
After that, yeah. So
Yeah.
we met Liam. We went to a party once about I think it was after Oasis won the I don't know who you call it, outstanding contribution to music at the Brits, or whatever it is. You know that thing that they give to someone who's been around for a while. I
Yeah.
forget what
Yeah.
it's called. They'd won that. And they had a party afterwards, and we were at that. It's a really weird night because there's lots of people. Like at one point, I first met Liam, and I was with Neil, who we used to do this thing called Colonel and Ginger on Soccer AM, these two Air Force pilots. And Liam came and said, "Oh, lads, how's it going?" He goes, "I love that Colonel and Ginger you do. It's brilliant," and all this. And he was going about how much he liked it. "Oh, thanks." He goes, "Yeah, it's great." He goes, "That's your definitely maybe." Amazing that you call it that for a start.
Yeah.
I was going, yeah. I mean, that is culturally on a par. I think. But then later on, I was sat with Joe Sheephead, who I used to work with, and we were sat at a table with Liam. And then someone I thought I didn't really look up because I was sort of chatting. And I thought a woman came down and sat next to Liam and started chatting. I looked up and it was Steven Tyler from Aerosmith. We just sat chatting to Liam.
Fucking
And Joe and
hell.
I, it was a little bit after we'd been to watch the Champions League final in Paris, the Arsenal one where they lost. I can't remember who they played now. But we got taken by, I think it was PlayStation.
Was it Barcelona?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And we'd been taken by PlayStation, and for some reason, because there was a shortage of hotels, we got put in Euro Disney to stay. And so we went to Euro Disney for like a day, and there's like a Universal Studios-y bit, and it's got an Aerosmith roller coaster in it. And me and Joe went on it quite a few times. Joe really likes Aerosmith, and like Steven Tyler's one of Joe's heroes.
Yeah.
And he had one chance to talk to Steven Tyler, and he went, "Hey, Steven." He went, yeah, he goes, "I went on your roller coaster in Euro Disney." And Steven Tyler went, "Neat, isn't it? Me and Joe Perry went on it 57 times."
I like how much he appreciated
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And if you ever get a chat, if you ever go to your Disney, go on it because it's so brilliant. Because when you're queuing up, I can't remember.
We just talk about how Robbie's just sitting there going, "Oh, by the way, go on the roller coaster."
You've got to go.
Promoting that.
Because there's a video that they play. I can't remember what the premise of it. It's something like they're on tour and something's happened and they have to do something. You've got to help. Hey guys, can you help us? And they do this video where they're acting in it, and it's the most like one take, phoned in, lazy
Really?
performance of anything ever.
Yeah.
They're basically saying this, and they might as well at the end of turn around and go, "Can we have our bag of money now?" it's so little effort put into it. It's brilliant.
It's like Michael Owen. Have you ever seen his adverts that he's done?
They're so bad.
When he's in the plane
Helicopter.
and he goes, "Oh, what does he say now?" There's a famous. I can't remember what he says, but you'll have to check
I
it
like
out.
it when he's like, is it Rory McIlroy or Tiger Woods? He sees him down there and he's like, oh, he's just playing some golf on the thing and he hits the ball up at the window.
Yeah. What does he? I can't remember, but it's all like, "We are going to take a flight over Manchester," or something like that, isn't it? It's because all these producers and that are so scared to just go, "Do you mind doing that again, Michael?" They'll just go, "That's great. That take is perfect." Like he's done a new one with new advert with Joe Cole. Have you seen it?
no.
And it's promoting the new Huawei phone, and it's actually a really good concept. Have you seen this?
No, I haven't.
So they're sat there and they're going, "Yeah, when I made the switch, it was one of the best things I've ever done." And then it was hard to leave. Obviously, I've got a lot of love for them, but now I'm onto the new thing. They're talking about obviously moving from iPhone to Huawei, so it's a good idea. But it's just the flattest thing you've ever seen. "When I made the switch, it was the greatest moment of my life." It's like, yeah,
Is that
really,
really?
yeah,
Yeah.
so bad.
But also, a lot of the time, you don't have any time. You've got very limited time with these people. Like I do, I run a production company now. We do a lot of stuff with brands and sport and stuff like that. And they'll have a brand might have an hour with a football team and 3 players, and they will try and fit in so much stuff. So the standard for what's acceptable is so low. Like if they say the words in any order, they go, "Yep, fine," and move on to the next thing because they want to fit 20 things into an hour. Sort of
Why
thing
don't
a
they
lot of
just?
time.
It should be quality over quantity, really.
I don't know. I mean,
No?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I guess not.
But to
I
be
mean,
fair,
But
also,
then again,
how bad Michael Owen's things are makes it get shared more.
that's exactly
So
what I
it's
was
more
gonna
promotion,
say.
isn't it?
True.
If they were decent, you wouldn't be talking about it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
that's
but
true.
but I would say definitely switch to Huawei over iPhone because they are better phones.
Oh, we've
Yeah.
not got a brand deal yet.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you want to sponsor us,
sorry.
you
I think you should keep your
Sorry.
options open. Don't commit to anything.
Yeah.
I've got an iPhone. So.
can.
Yeah.
Huawei actually pulled out of a brand deal with me the night before because they said I was too out there. It's like, the night before, you
Jesus.
should have done your research. I already had my train ticket booked to London and everything. It's personal vendettas. I shouldn't bring them on the podcast. I do apologise, guys. It's Robbie's time, not mine. Robbie, you were one.
I was at a party. I was at a party with Oasis, wasn't I?
That's
where
it.
I
That's
was.
one of the best stories I think I've ever heard.
Okay, so later on that night, and it was again, it was after that album that had his name I can't remember, and there had hadn't really been much talk about a next album or anything like that. And I was with Tim Lovejoy and we were chatting to Liam. He came over and he was in an excited mood, and he was chatting to us and he was started talking about the new album. And I was going, "Oh, well, that's interesting. I didn't know about this." He goes, "Yeah, it's so great. This new album's amazing. We've written these songs and all this sort of stuff." And he goes, "Do you want to hear some of it?" And I was like, "Yeah, like I mean, this is incredible. This is like my favourite ever bands and a chance to hear this album I didn't even know existed.
Proper
Ahead
pinch
of things,
yourself
go,
moment.
incredible."
Yeah.
So there he goes, "Right, follow me." So he went through and he went in this club that they'd hired out in London. We went through like the kitchen and into like this pantry, me, Tim and Liam. And so we was in this pantry of this club. And some bloke came in and said, who worked there and sort of was like, "Guys, you can't be in here." But then obviously saw it was Liam and realised that
He can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah, so he sort of was like, "Oh, you're not really supposed to be in here like that." And we were like, "Oh, sorry." And what would have been sensible to just go, "Look, we'll just be a second, do you mind?" And then we'll get out. And he would have gone, "Yeah, no problem," and left.
Yeah.
But Liam was like, "Who says we can't fucking be here?" He goes, "Well, the management." He goes, "Fuck the management," and all this. I'm like, "Oh," and I was sort of going, "Well, we'll just be a second." Is that right? Eventually, sort of left us alone like this, and I thought Liam's going to get out like a phone or something like that and play some tracks. He goes, "Okay, so like the first song, it goes like this." He goes, "Did," and started like singing it.
Fucking
I was like,
hell.
"What?" And it was And it was still great, and but he did like the full 5-minute song, including all the instruments. Like, he was doing like this song like that, and I was going like that, and I was like, "Oh, this is a bit odd, but it's still quite
Still
interesting
cool.
like that." By the third song,
Oh, guys,
I
going through the
I was
album.
like, "What's I don't know." Like, I was quite like a drink now. I was like, in here, so yeah, so we're just stuck in.
That is incredible.
So-
Is he all right as a person then?
Liam.
Yeah.
Oh, he's sound.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's really
Because
really
he
good.
has kind of like that public image that he's 2 fingers up to everyone, kind of like.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, he's really great, and I've know people I know who weren't on Soccer who don't know who've bumped into him and met him, and he's just given them tickets to gigs and stuff like that. He's genuinely with me was a really nice
Oh, amazing.
nice guy, and I bumped into him last year at something. I was having a little chat to him
Yeah.
and there sort of thing. And he was
That's
really
quality.
nice, yeah.
That's quality. I remember when I first ever stepped foot in Manchester, there was a guy. A lot of men in Manchester try and emulate the Gallaghers. Like, they all wear the Parkers and they think that they've got to be rock and roll. And it sounds like I'm making it up. It was the first stranger I'd spoken to in Manchester. Yeah, I come at the station, see a guy. My phone had died, didn't know the time. Went up to him and he was walking, strutting, doing a Gallagher strut with a big Parker on. I went, "Excuse me, mate. Have you got the time?" And he went, "Fuck off," and just put two fingers at me and then just walked off. And I was like, I'm not sure that's how the Gallaghers
Welcome to
are. but-
Manchester.
Yeah.
I've got a great Liam story, not from me, but Tony Wilson, who died now, he was like around the Hacienda and all this
Not
factory
sure.
records and stuff. He's a famous figure in Manchester music. And I heard this story, apparently, we heard this from Mike Pickering, who's a music industry guy. Said him, so Mike, Tony and Liam were out drinking in the middle of Manchester once. I've got no idea if this is true, if you can see, but we were
Yeah.
So he and apparently they've been watching the football, something like that, and they're sort of goading Liam and winding him up a bit. And apparently Liam got really annoyed at one point and just picked up this chair. There was a big glass window at the front of this, just threw this chair and smashed this entire front window of this pub like that. And Tony Wilson is really funny. He came on Soccer once. He went, "Liam, that was absolutely marvellous. So rock and roll." Apparently Liam just leant over to him, went, "Fuck off," and walked out through the hole he'd made.